Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's Ford Friday is the turn of the Ford Probe. Welcome back, and Quarterlight, if you don't know, we're a car brochure channel. We look at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, sometimes beyond that as well. So if you think you might be interested as a car enthusiast, or indeed somebody who just loves collecting car brochures like I do, please consider subscribing. Like I say, today's episode, it's Ford Friday. Every Friday we've been looking at a Ford. It's a turn, the Ford Probe. And let's get this out of the way straight away. What a horrendous name. Who ever decided to call it the Probe? I don't know. And it was kind of like there in Europe to kind of like fill that gap that was left from the Capri. Anyway, let's jump straight into it and have a look at today's brochure. So here it is, today's brochure. And this particular one is from March 1994. Now this is Ford Fridays. It's obviously a Ford, but a lot of this car was really Mazda. At that time when Ford and Mazda were pretty close to each other, really under the structure. This is kind of like a MX-6 really. And it's said to be 60% Mazda and about 40% Ford. But the main bits you look at were Ford really technically. The interior, the exterior was kind of like a Ford design. Pop-up headlights, which I kind of like approved. Overall, I liked the design of the Ford Probe. I just hated the name, and I sometimes think, I wonder if it would have done a little bit better if it didn't have that silly name. Jot down in the comments what you think. Anyway, let's open the brochure and have a look inside. And this is your kind of like, your typical sort of small fold-out type brochure, this one for the Probe. We're going to start at the beginning. Makes sense really, doesn't it? Have a look at the text, have a look at some of these little images for the Probe, and a little bit of look at the two models. So as this is only a small brochure, we might as well start with this text. It starts by saying Probe is a sports coupe that not only looks the part, but performs to your expectations. Its styling is inspired, creating a visual excitement which is surpassed only by the driving experience. Available either as a 2.5 litre V6 24 valve for the real enthusiast, or as a 2 litre 4-in-line 16 valve for those who simply love to drive. It then goes on to say the Probe's 16 valve standard features are exceptional, ranging from exterior styling like colour keyed body side mouldings and 15-inch 3-spoke alloy wheels, to the interior panache of body contoured bucket seats with integral headrests. So the key standard features are that 2 litre engine with a 5-speed gearbox, steering wheel and passenger airbags. Kind of like a time when this was pretty new stuff really, driver and passenger airbags. It would have been one of the first. Ford 951 immobiliser, anti-theft alarm, side impact door beams, headlight levelling, motorised. 4-wheel electronic anti-lock brakes, power assisted steering, electronically operated and heated mirrors, electronically operated front windows with driver controlled one-shot lowering, and 6x15 alloy wheels with locking wheel nuts and 205x55x15 tyres. It goes on to tell us you still get a standard tailgate wiper and electric wash, central door locking, tinted glass, front sport seats, driver's electric lumbar side bolster adjustment with manual height adjust, and this stereo radio cassette. So it was a really well equipped car for the time. Think Capri and how little you got on those, so it was certainly moving the game up. You could also get, as extra cost, you get something called the Plus Pack, which included electrically operated sunroof, cruise control, kind of a better radio cassette, leather trimmed steering wheel, leather gear lever knob, map light and illuminated entry light. And also you can have air conditioning with that plus pack as well. We then get this rather terrible, actually, little tiny picture. I wish it was a little bit bigger. I don't know if we can get it into a little bit of a better shot by just moving it around a little bit. But like I say, that's kind of like comparing the two models together. So this one here at the back here is going to be your base model, your kind of like your 2 litre 4 in line engine. You can tell that basically because it's got these alloy wheels, which I do remember actually. That's kind of like something I do remember about the Probes, is those alloy wheels, but they're on the base model. The V6 has got these sort of 5-spoke alloy wheels. Also to note, this is just got a single exhaust. I do believe the V6 had a twin exhaust, although you can't really see that exhaust on that particular picture. And overall, once again, I do like the styling of the Probe. Like I say, it's just a shame that that name really put me off, to be honest with you. Like I say, I don't know if you feel as terrible about the name as I do, but that name really has always really put me off the car. Now, I'm not saying they should have kept the Capri name for it. I don't think that would have really fitted, and it's so much different than the Capri. But I'm sure they could have thought of a better name, some kind of animal or something, I don't know. And then we get this little image of showing this driver and passenger airbag, which, you know, was a big thing at the time. And then we get this interior picture. Yeah, it's a bit of a sea of grey really, it's not very exciting, but like I said, it's quite sculptured seats. I presume these are the leather optional extra seats. Particularly like how it swoops and continues around the door. Interesting steering wheel. Not a bad interior, like I said, it's just a little bit too grey, I think. So this is the main page. Really good picture this time of the side of the Probe. Kind of wish it was a better colour to show a bit of the detail. I always think black kind of like loses a little bit of detail, but nevertheless, we'll certainly zoom in there in a moment. Top Probe, go your own way. Colour choice. And a bit of text. We'll start off by looking at some of this text because this is talking about the 24 valve, so it'd be interesting to see how that was spec'd in the UK. Okay, so here we go then. So the Probe 24 valve sports all the features of the 16 valve stablemate, including the plus pack. So remember that plus pack, there was an option on that little 2 litre. You got things on there like the electric sunroof, remember, a better radio cassette, leather trim steering wheel, leather gear lever knob, etc, etc, a few little bits like that. So he goes on to say the 2.5 24 valve engine provides the greater power and smoother acceleration that you would expect from a V6 engine. The exterior is special too, with 16-inch now 5-spoke alloy wheels with 225 by 50 by 16 radials, lower body side cladding, rear wheel guards and twin exhausts. So standard feature on this top model, obviously that 2.5 litre engine with a 5-speed gearbox, those alloy wheels which we've just talked about, electrically operated sunroof, cruise control, leather trimmed 4-spoke steering wheel, leather gear lever knob, map light and illuminated entry light, body coloured lower body side cladding, twin exhausts, rear wheel guards fitted to wheel arch, that better stereo radio cassette, and you could get that optional leather seat trim and air conditioning. So here is a bit of a zoom in on the front end of the Probe, showing those pop-up headlamps. Sadly there's no picture showing them raised, but there we go. You can also see that 5-spoke larger alloy wheel on this particular 24 valve model. And also going to the rear with that unusual door handle, which I always kind of like remember, kind of like making it look a little bit more sleek, I guess. So your colours and trims now, top 2 vibrant white, rear red with a kind of like non-metallics. think that Rio Red was quite a popular one actually. You could get metallics as well: electric blue, electric currant red, teal mist. Teal mist, I kind of feel that was quite a popular colour. I did see a lot of probes in that teal blue. A little bit of an image of the opal grey cloth, which is kind of like your standard trim. And then if we move over, a couple more colours. Ebony black, I guess that's a non-metallic as well, but you usually pay a bit more for black around this time. And light aspen silver, which was, of course, a metallic. And then that leather, optional extra cost on that 24 valve model. Okay, specifications time, which we'll certainly have a look at. I have to zoom in a little bit more on this. I'm not sure if you can see this, but unusual little sticker on the top here, telling us that the leather trim seat option, remember on that top of the range, consists of leather facings on the front seats and leather effect vinyl on the rear seats. So you think you're getting this nice leather trim, leather seats. You only get them on the front seats, and the back seats is vinyl. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let's hope that option is pretty cheap. So as always, we'll go through the specifications. I'm not going to spend too much time on the specifications, but you can always pause the screen at any time, of course. So it starts by showing the brakes, the steering, the suspension. And then it moves on to the technical, fuel and performance. And these figures are all that 2 litre model, remember. So top of the range, top speed of that base model, 127 miles an hour. 0 to 60 in 10.6 seconds. So it wasn't particularly quick at 0 to 60, that's for sure. But you know, it's quite a big, heavy car. And then the technical details for that 2.5, showing that that does 137 miles per hour, a little bit more respectable, kind of like more figures you kind of like expect, around about 8.5 seconds. Still, I wouldn't describe it as a fast car though. Moving down to the standard safety features, the standard security features, the exterior features, the exterior functional, the exterior lighting, and interior features, carpeting and trim, interior lighting, in-car entertainment. And that's kind of like a look at the 2 stereo radio cassettes, a 2006 or that 2007. Instruments and controls. And of course seats and seat belts. Seats and seat belts continued, and then we get comfort and convenience. The luggage compartment, a storage net, and then it talks about that optional plus pack you can get on that lower model, and a bit of the dimensions, etc, etc. Not sure if anyone's really interested in the dimensions, but there it is. And a bit of the stowable luggage in cubic meters. Interesting. And then we got a little bit of a dimension thing that really doesn't work on camera. Back page is just showing, you know, Ford Cares, you know, emergency numbers, etc, parts, bits like that. Nothing really too exciting. And then Ford's sort of catchphrase at the time, everything we do is driven by you, and the date March 1994. So there we go, that is Ford Fridays and the Ford Probe. Memories, like I said, that name put me off, but thinking it more as an older car now, I don't think they really lasted too well. I remember seeing a lot of very sad looking probes not too long after there was like these fancy probes, so I don't know how well they lasted. I don't know how many left in the UK, but I feel that's not too many really. Anyway, if you've got any memories of the probe, please do jot it in the comments. Always interesting to read. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow's show, Saturday special. We'll see you very soon. Please do like and subscribe. Take care and goodbye.